In this video, I'm going to show you the easy way to overcome sales objections. Hi, my name is AJ. I've run a business development company. We help fractional leads, B2B consultants, B2B service providers get more customers and sales. And one of the things that we end up doing for a lot of our clients is we support them with actually closing the deals. This often happens because when people start their practices, they're used to getting what we would call like a warm bowl of milk lead, right? Or to be nicer, an inbound lead, which is like a referral or somebody who heard of them from word of mouth. And typically, somebody who is referred to you, you're going to close at a very, very, very high rate. Honestly, you should. At that point, it's your job to not mess it up. Because if somebody's been referred to you, they already trust what you're doing. They probably already know the price. They're more just there to say, where do I sign? Like that's the main reason they're there. But when people move from these referral type leads to, like, let's say outreach leads, like cold outreach leads, which is the polar opposite, and then they get told no to even just a meeting or something like that, I think sometimes we take it super personally. And we don't, like, instead of thinking, how can I get better to address any of these potential objections, we just say, I only need referrals. That's the only way I can grow, which is maybe true, but in my experience has not been the case for most people. Here's what I do every time I get sales objections on my sales calls for myself and my clients, which will make it more frictionless without you having to be a sleaze bag. All right. So anytime you get an objection, typically what I'll do is build the objection into your actual sales process. Now, we will use typically like pitch decks for our sales process, which is just like a slideshow that goes through our service offerings. You don't have to do that. You can just make it a point to address those concerns. But I do that because it helps me stay on task, and that way I don't get distracted or go off on random tangents. So common objections you might get that I think should be in every sales process, no matter what, is like, is this going to work for me? Right? So taking some time throughout your process to make sure you're going to address if this is going to actually work for them, how it would work for them, your service, if it would work for them, and then getting them to agree. Yes, I think this would work for me before you press forward. I think a lot of times when we're selling stuff, we're really excited and we just want to talk about all the cool things, but we don't actually get any like micro commitments from our prospective customer. And so because of that, then you have a long list of objections at the end. So that's one thing, we've built into our sales process. Another thing is like, who even are you, right? So a lot of reasons, sales presentations, you'll have like an about me or an about us page is not just to gas yourself up, but also because they want to know, like, how long have you been doing this? Who is your team? Is your team local? Are they remote? Are they overseas? And they want to kind of understand, like, can I trust this person, right? So that's the next thing is building in those processes. Like those are kind of obvious, easy ones, but you will have harder objections as well that come across the case. Like what happens if it doesn't work, right? This is where a lot of people have thrown in things like guarantees or assurances, and you can do that if you're comfortable with it. And if you think what you're doing merits that. I like to put in what's called like a money math slide where it shows numbers wise how you would hit your goal. I will put in what it looks like to work with us day 1, day 2, day 3, so that they know what it looks like when they work with you and how long before things start, right? Anything that comes up as an objection for you, you should be documenting and you should be building into your sales process so that at the end of the call, it just results in a yes or no. You're not like, there's none of this, I need to think about it, I'll follow up with you in 5 years. Like you want to get to a yes or a no. And addressing these sales objections are how you're going to do that. And so those are the ones that are like more obvious. The less obvious sales objections are the ones people won't say. So if you're getting a response where it's like, I need to think about this or I'll do it in 3 months, what it typically means is like, they don't think it's a priority right now, right? Or they're not super convinced it's going to work, or they're worried they're not going to get a return on the investment is a lot of them for smaller businesses, right? And so making sure these nonverbal things are addressed is going to make your sales objections go away as well. So like, is this important right now? Do you see how this could get you a sale this week? What happens if you don't get sales in the next 3 months for your business? Oh, that's horrible. I can't let that happen, right? So like making sure you're like juxtaposing the opposite of inaction and making inaction worse than inaction is also important. And this is super important to communicate with people because we are delulu. We will lie to ourselves and say everything is fine when everything is not fine. And that doesn't serve you and it doesn't serve your customer either. So those are some things you can do when you get sales objections. I'm sure I forgot something, and I'm sure any sales expert in my network will let me know. So please do. And thank you so much. I want to hear it if there's anything I forgot or if there's any tips, and I will see you in the next one.